We're ready.
Good, that's good. So here's the female reproductive anatomy, and from the external aspect, should I use this?
Sure.
So there's things that are and things that are not, but it's still nevertheless, it's going to be an aspect of the pelvic outlet. So there's going to be the rectum in this regard that's going to be coming out through. Sorry about that. The rectum is going to be also passing out through the pelvic outlet, and so is the urinary bladder and the urethra. So all of these aspects are from the outside, and then on the inside we have the anal canal, we have the vagina, which is also the birth canal, and we have the urethra coming from the bladder, and you can see that everything is passing through between the spinal column and the coccyx and the pubic bone. So this is all an aspect of pelvic outlet. And so we have labia majora, minora, we have the vestibule, and in the vestibule the two openings are going to be the urethra and the birth passage, the vagina. Coming up into this area then is going to be the fornix on either side and all the way around the cervix of the uterus, and then the cervical canal, external os, internal os, and the opening inside the lumen. And where is that thing that was just here? There we go. So this comes off this way, so that coming from inside the uterus, there's going to be the three objects at the corner of the uterus, only one of which is even sort of got a bit of clarity to it, which is this has got a lumen, so that must be the fallopian tube or oviduct or uterine tube where the egg will come down through. Okay, so I think that's, oh wait a second, we have over here, you can actually kind of see that there's going to be the ovarian ligament, the ovary, the fimbri of the oviduct coming up, and then this is a little round ligament that's vestigial. You don't need to know too much about that. We do see the ureter coming down this way. We do see suspensory ligament coming up this way. Okay, and so that's about as much of that model I think that we can test. So then, here's our ovary, our really big ovary. Okay, and so this is an ovary for all seasons, and here we have a group of follicles over here that's going to be stimulated by FSH, and then the follicles will grow up. This area in here is granulosa, the outside is theca. Together they're going to make the estrogen and progesterone. In here is the ovum that's developing. Eventually we'll have a follicle that's going to form an antral follicle. This is very antral. It's the Graafian follicle, which under the influence of high estrogen and a spike of LH is going to cause ovulation at mid-cycle. And that's at the end of the follicular phase, which is the most variable phase. So it depends on the health of the individual. And then there's going to be the little egg here with the zona pellucida and the corona radiata that flies out and gets hopefully caught by the fimbri of the oviduct. And then at the end of that little procedure, there's going to be the corpus luteum, and now we're in the luteal phase of the ovarian cycle, and that means that there's going to be a little bit more progesterone than estrogen. And at the end of the cycle, 28 days, if there is no fertilization and implantation, then this is going to disintegrate and become the corpus albicans. And then we move on to the next model, and here's the next model now. And so we're going to have the romantic moment when the little ankle biter sperms are moving on up through the birth canal. In this case, the birth canal would be actually considered the vagina, and we would have the lucky little millions that would make it up into the uterus, and then they chose door number 1 over here if they're lucky, and they came around, and at least 50 or 100 of the 400 million or so are going to have enough acrosomal enzyme to basically get one of these sperm to go in. The lucky 100th caller will get to fertilize the egg after digestion of the corona radiata and the zona pellucida. And then over in this picture, we have some days down the road here where we actually have a blastocyst, and it's a hollow little ball of cells. And here we have the outer trophoblast, and the syncytiotropoblast is going to be making the selection high in the endometrium here to sort of dip down in. Hopefully there's enough candy bars being released here by the endometrial glands, so that this guy will be nicely nourished, and he'll make a good selection here of places to form the placenta with mom. Okay, so there's that. Notice the mucus plug right there, so nobody else is going to come in. And now here's the gentleman of the moment. So this gentleman, are we okay there? This is the whole outside view. We have the inguinal canal with the spermatic cord coming down. On the outside of the spermatic cord is going to be the cremaster muscles, which will position the testis close to or far away from the heat of the body. Inside the spermatic cord is going to be an artery, this testicular artery. There's going to be pampiniform plexus of veins. There's going to be an autonomic nervous connection. And there's also going to be the ductus deferens. And so the testis here is going to develop the sperm to a certain point, and then they'll go off to the epididymis for swimming lessons and full maturation until that special moment in the sexual cycle where they will begin to move upward through the ductus deferens on the way to that sympathetic moment of orgasm and propulsion out through the from the ejaculatory duct, and then through the coming down this way is going, when it doesn't come off, through the thank you the prostatic urethra. Of course, we have the little internal sphincter here of the bladder which will close, and so these guys will go forward in an anterior direction, then through also the penile urethra. And the penile urethra, you can see here, is part of the corpus spongiosum on out through the glans penis. Okay, back on this side of the penis is the the corpus cavernosum. Yeah. Thank you. And then notice over here we have another aspect of the pelvic outlet, which would include the rectum, and so that means up this way we have this sigmoid colon. And you would have to be, if you're going to be checking on the prostate here, you'd be having to do a rectal exam, so that you'd be pressing against this little prostate here to see if it was boggy or not. It shouldn't be larger than a little walnut. Okay, so that's about that scene right there. Oh, we got any time left? Ooh.
We got this.
Oh, we have that little guy right there.
The manhandled one.
Okay, well, we do have a nice floor of the pelvic cavity here, and then underneath the peritoneum we do have the detrusor muscle of the, ooh, there it is, the bladder, and we have the prostatic urethra, the membranous urethra, the penile or spongy urethra, just the way you like it, huh? Oh, and that opens too, and so without actually causing too much injury. There we go. We have the penile urethra coming out through the spongy corpus spongiosum and corpora quad. Oh, okay, we're all set. That'll do it right there. Thank you very much.
We need